The reason I did my project about reasoning and critical thinking is because I believe these are two main factors about how humans think and the reason why they do things. This leads off to how our actions and how we as an individual has grown in a certain community, such as family, environment, lead us to have a certain way of thinking and reasoning. During this project, I used two articles that we had to read during this class. One of them were Why Facts Don't Change Our Minds, as well for What is Critical Thinking Chapter 1. The reason I chose these were because based on the authors and based on what the readings were saying, they were well connected. One, they were main focus about critical thinking as knowing why we do things, as how it affected us, as assumptions, and how this develops. As well, being able to see a different perspective in the article Why Facts Don't Change Our Minds. This article was a great example because it was related to this time. As well, a video I used that we had to watch in this class was The Long Reach of Reasoning. The reason this has a great connection is we were able to see a point of view of reasoning, as well how this has changed over the years, but most importantly we were able to see 2 points of views based on the psychologies that were in the TED Talk. They pointed out some great points, such as during the centuries that we have grown as individuals, we have also learned to care about others, but also having thinkers realizing why certain things are done and the reason for the things and events that have been done in history. I as well conducted my own research based on my final project. One article that I looked at was What Is It Like to Be a Bat by Thomas Nagel. I felt like this had a great connections to the reading that we had in class called Helping a Species That Leaves a Few Feelings Warm and Fuzzy. And they had a great connection just because they talked about critical thinking and the connections we have as humans with other species. And I felt like these two were a great connection to the reasoning and critical thinking. As well, I was able to find an experiment that was conducted called A Class Divided. So this is a great example of critical thinking and reasoning. The reason is because this experiment was based on brown eyes and blue eyes and who was superior. And these were 3rd grade children. And we were able to see how they changed based on who felt more superior during the days, and how their critical thinking went into the actions that led them to the reasoning why they treated the other children bad just based on their eye color. Based on my research project, I feel like I have learned a lot and conducted great evidence to say humanity has a great connections to critical thinking and reasoning, because our actions lead to our thinking and our thinking leads to our actioning, that leads to reasoning why we do things and for what reason. It could be for emotion, it could be for many reasons. My final project did connect and is wow evidence based on these articles that I have conducted, and as the experiments that I have found have a great connections on reasoning why humanity has critical thinking that leads to reasoning. These two connect because it's based on our actions, and our action leads to reasoning and knowing the background of why we do things, and this leads to how our thinking leads to our actions, leads to our reasoning. This is very important because us as humans, we have critical thinking, but there are times where we don't know the reason why we do certain things and how it has happened.